All right, so get ready, guys, because today we are going deep on Dalian. Yeah, Dalian, China, coastal city in China. And I'm already getting Wanderlust vibes just looking at the sources. We've got two sources here. One's all about booking the trip, and the other is a really in-depth look at all the stuff that makes Dalian so special. And honestly, I didn't know anything about this place, so get ready, because this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it really is a city of surprises. Dalian isn't just another pretty place on the map. It's a major port city. It's a powerhouse when it comes to trade and industry. So you can imagine like bustling business districts right up against these breathtaking beaches. Kind of a cool combination.
Okay, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
But help me understand this. Why should I care about Dalian? What makes this more than just another port?
Well, what's really fascinating about Dalian is that it gives you a glimpse into modern China. It's a place where ancient traditions collide head-on with modern progress. And you can see that in the architecture, you can feel it in the culture, you can even taste it in the food.
Okay, you've got my attention now. But let's get down to the details. Our source lays out 7 must-see spots in Dalian. What's first on the list?
Well, let's start with Tiger Beach. It's part of the Laohutan Scenic Area. Think like dramatic rock formations, sculpted over millennia by the sea. A photographer's dream, especially if you love capturing nature.
Okay, that's way better than just saying ocean views or something. But I'm guessing there's more to Tiger Beach than just some pretty rocks, right?
Yeah, you bet. There's also the Tiger Beach Ocean Park, where you can see penguins, and polar bears. It's not a combo you see every day.
Yeah, it's not.
What?
Makes you wonder how they keep those two happy in the same place.
Right.
Talk about opposite ends of the temperature spectrum.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, that's pretty cool. What's next on our Dalian adventure?
Next up is the Dalian Forest Zoo, and they've got a unique approach to animal enclosures. Instead of traditional cages, the animals roam relatively freely in habitats that are supposed to mimic their natural environment. So, pandas lazily munching on bamboo, or tigers stealthily stalking through dense undergrowth.
Okay, that's totally different from seeing a lion just pace back and forth in a tiny enclosure. But are there any ethical concerns about this kind of setup?
Yeah, that's a valid question. I mean, there's always debates around zoos and animal welfare, and this type of zoo is relatively new, so it's something to consider and maybe do a little more research if you're thinking about visiting.
Good point. I'll keep that in mind. Right, what's our next stop?
Get ready for a scenic drive, because we're heading to Binhai Road, 30 kilometers of coastal highway that promises stunning seaside views. The perfect route for a road trip with stops at yacht clubs and detours to iconic squares.
I'm picturing myself cruising along that coast right now. Windows down, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned squares. Which brings us to our next destination, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We can't talk about Dalian without mentioning Xinghai Square, one of the largest squares in all of China. Huge sculptures, expansive waterfront walkways, a sense of grandeur that's almost overwhelming.
I'm getting the feeling that Dalian likes to do things on a grand scale. You know me, though. I'm not always a museum person. So how does the Dalian Modern Museum stack up?
This one might surprise you. It's not just about static displays. It focuses on the city's evolution, showcasing local traditions and how Dalian has transformed over time, from a small fishing village to a major economic hub.
Okay, that's actually way more interesting than I expected. I'd be curious to see how they portray that transformation. What else is on our must-see list?
For a truly immersive experience at the Dalian Laohutan Ocean Park, you can walk through underwater tunnels surrounded by marine life. And they've got dolphin shows that are supposed to be spectacular.
Underwater tunnels.
Right.
Sign me up. Dalian is definitely shaping up to be quite an adventure. All right, last stop on our whirlwind tour. What is it?
We're finishing up with a trip back in time. Zhongshan Square, the historical heart of Dalian. You'll find colonial architecture reflecting the city's past under Russian and Japanese influence. It's a reminder of Dalian's complex and multifaceted history.
Wait, Russian and Japanese influence? I had no idea. See, this is why I love deep dives. You never know what historical surprises you'll uncover.
Exactly. Speaking of uncovering things, maybe a good time to talk about the best times to visit Dalian.
Right, because packing for a beach trip in the winter might not be the best idea.
Yeah. Spring and autumn offer the most pleasant weather for exploring, while summer is ideal for those who want to hit the beach. But keep in mind, summer also means larger crowds. And as you pointed out, winter can get pretty chilly in Dalian.
So shoulder season is the way to go. Got it. But how do you actually get to Dalian? Is it easy to reach from other parts of China or internationally?
You're in luck. Dalian has an international airport with connections to major Chinese cities and beyond. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, you can hop on a high-speed train and watch the Chinese countryside fly by.
Oh, I've always wanted to experience high-speed rail travel. That sounds amazing. But I gotta admit, planning a trip to a new country can be a little daunting.
Yeah, I hear you. That's where our other source comes in. They recommend a website called FlightHotels.com. It's all about making travel planning a breeze.
Okay, tell me more about this travel planning savior.
Well, they offer comparison shopping for both flights and hotels, so you can find the best deals all in one place, save you time, A&D money.
As a busy person, I appreciate that. Anything else that makes this site stand out?
Well, they also offer exclusive discounts, always a bonus. But maybe the most valuable feature is their focus on ease of booking. Simple process and 24/7 customer support, so you can get help whenever you need it. No more travel planning nightmares.
Okay, I'm sold. We went from knowing next to nothing about Dalian to having a mental itinerary and a website to book it all. Thanks to these sources. That's the power of a good deep dive.
Indeed. But remember, travel is about more than just ticking off a list of sites. It's about immersing yourself in a new culture, seeking out unique experiences, and creating lasting memories.
That's a great point. And it makes me wonder, what kind of unique experiences might someone seek out in a city like Dalian? A place where ancient and modern worlds collide like that.
That's a question worth pondering. And luckily, we've got more to uncover in our Dalian deep dive.
Exactly. So be sure to join us for part 2, where we'll delve deeper into the heart and soul of this fascinating city.
Welcome back to our Dalian deep dive. Hope you had a moment to picture yourself strolling along those scenic coastal roads and exploring those unique attractions.
Oh, I definitely have. But now I'm ready to go beyond the tourist hotspots. Like, what's the vibe of the city? What's it actually like to be in Dalian?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Dalian has this amazing balance between the modern and the traditional. It's a bustling port city, a hub of industry. But it's also steeped in history and culture. You can walk down a street lined with skyscrapers, turn a corner, and find an ancient temple.
So it's not a city that's lost its soul in the rush to modernize.
Not at all. Dalian holds on to its heritage while embracing progress, and it creates this fascinating dynamic that you can really feel as you wander through the city.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Paint me a picture. What kind of sensory experiences await me in Dalian?
Imagine walking along the waterfront, the salty sea air in your hair, and in the distance a majestic mountain range. Then you duck into a bustling market, a kaleidoscope of colors and textures, vendors hawking their wares, the aroma of spices filling the air.
Sounds like a city that truly engages all the senses. But what about the people? What are the Dalian locals like?
Well, from what I've gathered, they're known for their warmth and hospitality. There's a sense of pride in their city, and a willingness to share its treasures with visitors.
That's always good to hear. Nothing ruins a trip faster than unfriendly locals. Speaking of communication, is English spoken much in Dalian? Or should I start brushing up on my Mandarin?
Well, Mandarin is the official language, of course, but you'll find that English is becoming more common. Especially in tourist areas, many people in the hospitality industry are able to communicate in English.
That's good to know.
Yep.
But I'm always up for learning a few phrases in the local language. It's a great way to connect with the culture, you know?
Absolutely. Even a few basic phrases can go a long way in showing respect and appreciation. And who knows, you might surprise yourself with how much you can pick up.
Challenge accepted. Now let's talk food. Dalian is a coastal city, so I'm assuming seafood is a must-try.
Oh, absolutely. Dalian is renowned for its fresh, flavorful seafood. That location on the Yellow Sea means they have access to some of the best catches in the region.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. What are some of the standout dishes I should look for?
Well, you can't go wrong with the classic Dalian dumplings, filled with succulent seafood, and for a truly local experience, I'd recommend trying sea cucumber. It's a delicacy that's both nutritious and, surprisingly, delicious.
Sea cucumber. Okay, I'll admit, I'm a little hesitant about that one.
Yeah.
But I'm always willing to try new things.
I encourage you to be adventurous. It's a unique culinary experience that you won't soon forget. But remember, Dalian's food scene isn't limited to seafood. You'll find a wide variety of cuisines, from traditional Chinese dishes to international fare.
So there's something for everyone, even picky eaters like me. Now, after a long day of exploring and indulging in delicious food, I'm going to need a comfortable place to rest my head. What are the accommodation options like in Dalian?
You'll find a range of options to suit every budget and preference, from luxurious five-star hotels with stunning views to cozy guest houses tucked away in charming neighborhoods. Dalian has something for everyone.
Okay, I'm picturing myself waking up in a stylish hotel room, overlooking the sea, sipping my coffee as the sun rises. Sounds pretty idyllic.
It does, doesn't it? And remember, our trusty source, FlightNHotels.com, can help you find the perfect accommodations at the best price.
Right. They seem to have all the bases covered when it comes to travel planning. But let's get back to the Dalian experience. What else does this city have to offer beyond the sights and sounds we've already talked about?
Well, if you're interested in local arts and culture, Dalian has a thriving scene. You'll find theaters showcasing traditional Chinese opera, museums filled with ancient artifacts and contemporary art galleries exhibiting works by local and international artists.
Oh, nice. I always try to immerse myself in the local art scene when I travel. It's a great way to get a deeper understanding of the culture. What about nightlife? Is Dalian a city that comes alive after dark?
Absolutely. Dalian offers a vibrant nightlife scene with everything from trendy bars and clubs to traditional tea houses and karaoke venues.
Wow, Dalian really does seem to have it all.
Oh.
This deep dive has painted such a vivid picture of the city.
It has, hasn't it? But we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover about this fascinating place.
That's what makes these deep dives so exciting. They spark our curiosity and leave us wanting more.
Exactly. And as we delve even deeper into Dalian in Part 3, we'll discover that it's more than just a destination. It's an experience. A tapestry of sights, sounds, flavors, and emotions.
Well said. I'm already feeling inspired to book a trip, but I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear even more about Dalian.
They are, and we have plenty more to share. So be sure to join us for Part 3 of our Dalian Deep Dive. We'll explore even more fascinating aspects of this incredible city. Until then, happy travels.
Welcome back to the final part of our Dalian Deep Dive. Dalian has really captured my imagination, from ancient temples to bustling markets to cutting-edge museums. It's a place that really does seem to offer something for everyone.
It has been a fascinating journey exploring Dalian, hasn't it? We've delved into its history, its culture, even its culinary scene. But there's one aspect we haven't touched on yet, Dalian's role on the global stage.
Oh yeah, we know it's a major port city, a hub for trade and industry, but what does that actually mean in the grand scheme of things? What impact does Dalian have on the wider world?
It's a crucial question to consider. Dalian's economic and geopolitical significance is something we can't overlook as one of China's busiest ports. It plays a vital role in connecting China to the global marketplace.
So goods and products are constantly flowing through Dalian, contributing to international trade and the global economy.
Exactly, and it's not just about shipping. Dalian is also a major center for manufacturing, shipbuilding, and technology. It's a city that's driving innovation and pushing the boundaries of economic growth.
Sounds like Dalian is a real powerhouse, both economically and industrially. But what about its geopolitical influence? How does its location factor into that?
Well, its strategic location on the Yellow Sea makes Dalian a key player in regional geopolitics. For one, it's home to a significant naval base, highlighting its importance to China's military strategy.
I see. So Dalian is more than just an economic hub. It's also a place of strategic importance.
Precisely. It's a point of convergence for international diplomacy, trade negotiations, and military power. It's a place where global powers intersect and China's influence is felt on the world stage.
This adds a whole new dimension to our understanding of Dalian. It's not just a beautiful city with a rich cultural heritage. It's also a place that's actively shaping the future, both domestically and internationally.
And that's what makes exploring a place like Dalian so rewarding. It's about uncovering those layers of history, culture, and global significance. It's about understanding how a city fits into the larger tapestry of the world.
I have to say I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this information.
Yeah.
Dalian has gone from being this relatively unknown city to a place that's brimming with history, culture, and global importance. It's a lot to process.
It is, but that's the beauty of deep dives like this. They challenge our preconceived notions and open our minds to new perspectives.
And that's what makes them so valuable. They push us beyond the surface and encourage us to think critically about the world around us.
Exactly. And as we conclude our deep dive into Dalian, I hope it leaves you with a sense of wonder and a desire to explore further.
I know. I'm feeling that way. This deep dive has sparked my curiosity and made me eager to learn more, not just about Dalian, but about other cities and cultures around the world.
And that's what it's all about. It's about igniting that spark of curiosity and encouraging a lifelong love of learning and exploration.
Well said. So, for those listening, I encourage you to take what you've learned from our Dalian deep dive and apply it to your own travels and explorations.
Don't be afraid to venture off the beaten path, to ask questions, and to challenge your own perspectives.
Because the world is full of fascinating places waiting to be discovered, each with its own unique story to tell. And who knows, maybe Dalian will be your next adventure. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, happy travels.